First conversation this afternoon. Now, International Youth Day is observed annually on August 12th. It is meant as an opportunity for governments and others to draw attention to youth issues worldwide. During the IYD, concerts, workshops, cultural events, and meetings involving national and local government officials and youth organizations take place around the world. The World Conference of Ministers are responsible for youth adopted a resolution to proclaim August 12th as International Youth Day at its first session in Lisbon, Portugal. That was from 8th to 12th August 1998. Coming down to 2025, the theme of the International Youth Day, IYD 2025, Local Youth Actions for SDGs and Beyond, highlights the unique role of youths in translating global ambitions into community-driven realities. My guest is Mr. Tayo Olosunde. He's a youth development expert, co-founder at mindtheapp.ng. He joins me via Zoom from Abuja. It's good to have you on the show. Good afternoon, Mr. Olosunde. It's good to have you join us today to celebrate International Youth Day.
Thank you so very much for highlighting this very, very important day. It's a very special day, and we're happy that TVC is underscoring and giving the attention that I require. Thank you.
All right, then. Well, I think we should start with the theme. Yes, let's talk about the theme. Now, local youth action for SDGs beyond and beyond, science and beyond. Tell us what this implies. What do you think? What does it entail?
All right, thank you so much. I mean, there couldn't be any theme for this year's International Youth Day, especially now that we have about 5 years to 2030, which is the benchmark year for the SDG that was launched in 2015. With 5 years down the line, our responsibility is to ensure that we put our best foot forward. What does that mean? When a goal, when you are in a very important match and you are almost quarter to the end, you can't have all your best player on the reserve seat. So right now we are at the last mile. So we are calling up on our young people who've got all that is required to deliver on the mandate of the SDGs as it connects with them and as it connects with the community. So the local youth action basically is trying to say that, you know, SDG might be looked at as a UN thing, and it's not, because every one of the goals of the SDGs speaks to the realities of every single one of our over 60% young people between the age of 18 and 35. And that is why what is happening today is a coming together of the United Nations in Nigeria and the Federal Ministry of Youth and the Coalition of Youth, you know, and Youth SCSO and Network coming to highlight and to underscore the strategic role that young people need to play in delivering this future, especially even within these very dynamic, you know, political and economic time that we are in our country.
Interesting stuff. I like that you went there, because I'm looking at now localizing the SDGs. Now, what role do you think the youths make in, you know, making global goals relevant, particularly impacting their local communities?
Excellent. Right. So, for example, when we talk about localization, there are two dimensions to that. Number one is making it like something that speaks to your very community and making it to be something that also speaks to your own unique interests. So the first one is that, you know, every development is it's local, right? I mean, you can talk about GDP, you know, all I want to know is how does this impact me, right? So beyond just the 17 goals, how does that impact on my career as a youth? So one of the things that happened, for example, on Saturday in every NYSC camp nationwide was a project that is called My SDG, where all the core members there they were in a debate where everybody needs to identify one goal of the SDG that can align with their own career, which is entrepreneurship and professional goal, and how they can use digital skills to deliver on that mandate. So the mandate is that every Nigerian youth needs to have one goal of the SDG, which is their mandate, and their own personal, they have localized it to themselves. And they also now have to look at their community and look at the peculiarity of the need in their community that they can be the solution to. So that is what you mean, localization at 2 levels, at the community level and at the personal level, in a way that I can assess this SDG and make it my own personal goal, not the goal of government, not the goal of UN, not the goal of anybody, but my goal.
Interesting stuff. Now, youth as agents of change is also part of the key aspects of this theme that we've highlighted. Now, how would you talk about youth, particularly in Nigeria, in creating solutions and driving change? How well are they faring in regards to that?
Excellent, excellent. I mean, for crying out loud, the young people today, I mean, they are not future tomorrow. Every single thing technology today is driven by young people, right? Yeah. Every single thing, innovation, sport. I mean, we just celebrated our Falcon, you know, I mean, every single thing that is happening in this country, you just have to, and we also have, you know, some leadership of the youth ministry of youth, who is also very youthful. So what are we trying to say? All the key elements and the indices that is required to drive meaningful change in Nigeria today, whether you're talking about telecommunication, whether you're talking about tech, whether you're talking about sport, whether you're talking about entertainment, whatever it is that you are looking at, that is the key driver of our economy today, anything you want, including agriculture, the technology that is required to drive agriculture, trade, to drive global participation today is driven by the young people. So that is how important they are. And for crying out loud, we were yesterday at the United Nations, and it was discovered that 20% of the total, innovation that is happening in Africa is coming from Lagos, and is driven by young people. So that is how much young people need to be a catalyst. And one of the key elements of that is to take every activity of government, every need in their community, and convert them into very, very, very useful, innovative products and services that's going to serve them and create jobs and actually develop their community. So that is why they are the catalyst, they are the instrument. They are the only one that can make it happen. And the earlier we actually begin to invest more in them, the better.
Now, there's a gap. And many talk about this. I know you would agree that we need to bridge this gap. Youth's creativity, insights, and communities where they live and all of that. Now, how do we marry this together, achieving global goals and implementing them at local levels? What's the role of youth in bridging that gap?
Okay, so the thing about it is this. There are always going to be gaps, right? I mean, I run a company called Mind the Gap, right?
Yeah.
I mean, gaps are the reason why we are all in existence. The gap for information is, my brother, why you have a job, right? So gaps are meant to be, fills. And the only people who can really fill gaps are the young people. Most of people who are the older age, they almost are counting down on, what have they achieved. But the young people, they still have their future ahead of them. And so the way the young people, especially young people, see, things that you call problems, they see it as opportunity. Unlike when people grow older, they begin to measure problems. I mean, an average young person cannot afford to see Nigeria as half empty. Nigeria cup is not half empty. Everywhere you turn to, opportunities there, every problem in Nigeria is an opportunity for a young person. All right. So one of the things I believe very so strongly that we are seeing it everywhere we go to is that young people in Nigeria, they are not waiting to be told what to do. What they're basically all doing is identifying and articulating and putting a naira value on every problem around them. And they are being taught and being empowered to actually develop this solution that we actually meet that gap. Talking about from security to agriculture, to anything that you want to call it. The gap is there, but we are not going to complain, but we are going to create innovative solution to provide the service and the technology and the product that's required to solve that problem. So gaps are good because it creates opportunity. A friend of mine once said, the reason why we never japa is because they have fixed their country, He wants to stay here where the opportunities are, and that's why many of us are here also.
All right, then. Now, in your assessment, how do you think government, now at all levels, regional and local levels, how well do you think that they are creating the policy environment, allocating resources, and establishing mechanisms for the youth to participate in development and all of that?
Oh, fantastic. So like I said, Nigeria is never bereft of policies. We have a lot of policy, from the National Youth Policy, from even all the new policies on education, on all these things that the current administration is putting on. I think basically what we need is to stimulate Nigerians, especially our young people, to realize that policy are meant to be created by government in collaboration with our people. But policy implementation is essentially the responsibility of the citizenship. And that is why one of the programs we are trying to encourage, in collaboration with the Honorable Minister, is an initiative that is called Policypreneurs. And all we have to do is to ensure that we are able to get Nigerian youths to actually drive this policy. And that's exactly what we're doing.
All right, then finally, so let's look at some projections now. Looking ahead, what more do you think in participation, in all of that, what more do you think needs to be done to make the youths get involved politically and all of that?
Excellent. And I mean, of course, that you can't have enough, because when you have the kind of demographic that we have, the only way that Nigeria can be, I mean, I was in the US the other day and somebody was telling us Nigeria has the potential to be among the 6 superpowers in the world. And I was like, how? And he said, there's something that they call the soft power. That Nigeria has the soft power, which is youth, entertainment, technology, sports. That if Nigeria is going to invest tremendously in it, that we are going to really, stimulate the power of Nigeria and, of course, leveraging the rest of Africa to rule the world. Whether we like it or not, the investment that needs to happen is not just going to be from government. Private sector, we need the energy of young people to drive their industry, and all the development and policies and all the economic things that the president and people are doing right now. We still require young people as youth, as human capital, to drive it essentially. So what we need basically is, while we are building all this infrastructure, where we are dealing with foreign exchange, we are dealing with all this big stuff, we need to actually put human capital, which is young people, as a major trajectory of what we need to do as a nation. We need to move away from this paternalistic approach to youth development to actually bring young people to be the core driver of this economy, because they are the one driving it. Technology-wise, soft power, and in a way that can deliver to us the kind of future that we want to look out for.
Before I let you go, not being political, but I'd just like to ask you, the participation of youth in this present administration. Look at the Minister of Communications, Digital Economy. Look at the Minister of Youth Development. Lots of special advisors are youth, and of course, holding prominent offices. The newest, the chairman of NERC, just got into office some days ago, I think about 39 or something. What do you make of youth participation in President Bola Tinubu's administration?
Sincerely, like you said, I think we are doing well. Because I have been tracking youth participation since 2013 that I got to Abuja. We've never had this much, right? And I think for me, all we just have to do is to continue to support all our fellow youth who are in government. Of course, recently we had another appointment of Risola Abiola, who just been appointed as the DG of CNLTC. That is big. That is amazing. That's an amazing lady who has a whole lot of initiative that's going to turn around that very strategic, sector of our economy. So I want to give it to Mr. President, and I think all we have to do, support our young people to ensure those of them who are in power, we can all be around them to make sure they succeed in whatsoever they have been given a mandate to do. Thank you.
All right, then I must thank you so very much for your time. Mr. Tayo Olosunde is a youth development expert. He's a co-founder at mindthegap.ng. Thank you for your time. I know you have a series of meetings and events to attend today, so let me allow you to continue with them.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
All right then.